Okay, so this is our opening box ceremony from the M5Stack company in China. Apparently they make some pretty interesting information of things, or excuse me, Internet of Things development boards and other accessories. And I'm going to go through the box of stuff that we bought and have some fun a little later. But for now, let's see what we've got. We've got one Atom Lite. See, look at how small that thing is. It is USB-C. Oops. See, I can open it with one hand. Unfortunately, it takes a minute in YouTube here, or wherever I'm going to post this. But here it is. Apparently, there's a couple general purpose pins. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah, well, you can tell there's a couple of them there. I can't quite get it in focus, except right about there. So it looks like there's one button here. Yep, it feels like a button. And there's obviously a button here. Oh, and there's a groove port. Probably. Yeah, that looks like a groove port. Here in the bottom where my thumbnail is. So anyway, let's put this aside for a second. Look at the rest of the box. There's the SKU. Obviously there's the serial number. 4 mega flash, ESP32 core. So this is just like a lot of your generic, just plain ordinary ESP32 Pico development boards with 4 megs of flash. But that's just for beginners. We know there's a little bit more in there. Let's see, what else is on here? We've got a socket type C. We got pinouts, a couple pinouts. We got IR transmitter times 1, button times 1, reset button times 1, operating temperature, blah blah blah, size, case, plastic, and that's it. So I'm going to put this back in the box. Save it for later. And this thing, and I'll just toss that. So what's this? Ooh, M5Stack core. Ideas fast tracked. What's that mean? Is this an RFID card? Stephen Hawking. Okay. That's not a bad quote. Interesting. So, we'll look at that later. So, this is an M5Stack keyboard. Let's grab a working one real quick. Let's see. So here's the M5Stick-C because it's USB-C and has a groove port just like the Atom does. And it has more GPIOs up here instead of on the stack. So instead of being stacked, it's over here. But guess what? There's a keyboard hat. Apparently, I could just plug this into here and I would have a keyboard. Yeah. So I bought a few of those. Put that aside. Anyway, let's look at the M5Stick-C again. This guy. Let's look at this guy again. Sorry, my carpet's really dirty. This old apartment is just, well, you know. So we'll put that aside for now. Put that out on the side, put this aside, bring the box back. Let's see what else I got in here. I've got a bunch of groove port 4-pin cables. So these guys look like, well, I have to open a package and I need scissors right now. But they're 20 centimeters. That way you can plug these guys into other things. I would not plug them into each other like this. I would not plug them into this because that's not an appliance. But here's another package and another one. Obviously I've got a couple of gadgets, so I'm gonna have a few of these. Now this one here is your most basic. You're gonna have to do it yourself. And I decided to jump on this because I've actually done some of my own etching and stuff, and this now all I have to do is punch in my circuits and solder them together any which way I choose, or maybe wire wrap since it's just a prototype. And if this were plugged into the hat, it looks like your M5 stick would be right there with your plus, and your pins, whoops, the pins would just go through the bottom of the board here. Whoops. Oh, it looks like you could solder this anywhere you want. That just fell out. So, anyway, tuck that back in there. Let's see, there are a bunch of these in here, so let's get rid of all these. I can recount these a little later. This one's kind of interesting. This finger unit, I hope this is just like your modern smartphone fingerprint reader. And let's just say they're not all created equal. These sensors are going to get better or worse depending on what happens. Number one problem with my finger is it's always sweaty. But it looks like you have your receive and transmit and your power and ground. Let's open this up a little bit. Oh, how nice of them. It actually came with a small cable. So now I can get ready to work on this really quick if I had to. Here's port CU art. There's the fingerprint reader assembly itself. And obviously there's your groove port, and it looks like we have some mounting tools, so if you ever want to make a demo box or something, maybe you can figure out how to use that to your advantage. For now, let's figure out how to squeeze all this back in here. This one's kind of expensive, unfortunately. It's not quite $20 or maybe a little more, but a lot cheaper option is just the infrared unit. I think I got this just for $2. But you know, you got to account for shipping. I would buy a couple things. There's a, you know, this RFID unit might be why I got this card, because obviously I have to have an RFID card of some sort. But there's the sensor box. It probably doesn't have anything terribly special in it because there's your groove port. But we'll open it just to see if there's something on the other side. Sorry about the shaky video here. Oh, it's just not comfortable to squat on the ground like this. So there you go. And knowing the distance, it didn't matter what side's up. You could do whatever you want. So it looks like it has its own bus and 5-volt and ground. And it's on a groove port. So you got to use, whenever you set up your port selection, you got to make sure those port assignments match up with the GPIOs on your setup. Otherwise they won't talk. these, another one of these. Let's see, some more of this, and a lot of these. So these are kits. These are the only way I was able to get these, and they were just a little more for the straps and everything else. And I figured, you know what? If they're going to give me all this, and this is the only way I could get a hold of these at a reasonable price, I'll go for the kit and figure out how to use them maybe, because they do have a small battery in them. Let's open one of the kit boxes up, because this is what I ordered before, but it comes with, the kit comes with a little more. It's meant to be used as a watch or something like that. So there's that other M5 stick. Probably has the factory, I don't know what it has on it. It might have the factory demo on it. I can fire that up in just a second. Looks like that goes part of the wristband, and the USB-C cable is actually generously longer. Let's double check. Yep. For whatever reason, if it comes in a box about this size for just this unit, the USB-C cable is pretty small and short. But there's your opening and unboxing of some miscellaneous M5Stick-C goods, and also I decided to try out an Atom Lite and do some research on this. If it's got ESP32 on there, I can do some wireless stuff and catch it over serial port. I'll be fine. And if I want to upgrade to something else later, maybe I can stuff it on top of something else.